Was made still by the video game. Not the video game for it, I mean the pod racing one. For the Nintendo 64.
I don't play video games, I don't know what you're talking about.
I have a question for you. The new series of movies that are coming out, what are your feelings compared to the books that we all have grown up with, the Heir to the Empire and that series, being directly after Return of the Jedi, and the split from that and breaking us of the canon that we've all known and loved for, what, the last 38 years? And how does that play into it? I know JJ is going in a different direction than those books, and we've all been cut out by the Disney saying that those books aren't canon anymore.
Every film that they base on a book, they pretty much throw the book away and let the director do what he wants.
You're talking about the expanded universe. I'm kind of in the same boat with you because, for example, I read the Thrawn trilogy, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Dark Empire 1 and 2, Crimson Empire. I was really big into the Dark Horse comics, and so to me that's the expanded universe. What happened though was there was a time when I was younger where it was very easy to keep up with the expanded universe and how it was going. I like, for example, the character of Boba Fett. But what happened was later on in different stories, editing would get kind of sloppy, and they would introduce, like, for example, 3 variations of Boba Fett's character, and then have to make that in line with when the prequels came out, and try to sort of work around that in some way, shape, or form. So I think that at some point, there needed to be some streamlining of the expanded universe to sort of make it at least more tangible to readers who have been longtime fans and new people just coming in. I think if there's any assurance to fans about the expanded universe is I know that Disney are going to try and keep elements of the expanded universe that they think work well with readers. I know it's a very, I guess sort of like a consolation prize, I guess. I mean, it's not going to be keeping the whole thing. But I know for example, the rumor is that Boba Fett is going to return because they saw how people love that in the expanded universe. And so they're paying attention and they're saying, you know what, there's nothing that is stopping us from not bringing him back to life. Same thing with, let's say, Mara Jade. I know that from the Thrawn trilogy, she was definitely a standout character. And so I think they are listening. They do listen to fans. They like to see and they like to keep what works. They don't want to isolate that fan base. But it is disheartening. I'm going through that remorse right now with like Marvel, post-Secret Wars. They're going to be getting rid of the 616 continuity and trying to streamline it. So what does that mean for those Marvel stories that you like? Same boat. I mean, for me personally, it's kind of like those stories always exist somewhere in the back of my head. But I do hope, and so for those of you who are fans of the expanded universe, make your voices heard. I mean, go on message boards and just say, these are really things I really liked. I really think you should keep them. And I think they're listening. It's kind of like they listed the first spin-off movies would be Rogue One. And I think that's a spin-off of the fact that people like the Rogue Squadron series. They wanted some movie, something to continue this idea of, let's see how the X-Wing fighter pilots maneuvered for the rebellion. And I think that's a response to that. So I think that hopefully within the next few years we'll be seeing more and more things that spin off of the expanded universe. Maybe not everything, but hopefully the meat of what's there.
I have some lightsaber.
I don't really read the Star Wars books. I usually just watch the movies and all. But if I read the books for real, I think I might like them. So I might have to read one of the Star Wars books sometime and find out.
They got all those new Marvel ones coming out, so you should check those out. I have some lightsaber questions for him and for Byron. But so how is a lightsaber made? How they show you in the Clone Wars how they make a lightsaber? And Byron, I want you to tell us how the lightsaber was really made on the set.
On the original one, it was a long piece of rotating metal. You probably heard this story before. It was sprayed with this new stuff that 3M had that was the most highly reflective stuff at the time that they had available. And this long, thin piece would spin around on its axis, and they light it so that it was just, it was just giving off all this light. And in one of the scenes in the first film, when Obi-Wan all of a sudden makes the beam come up, if you look at the shadow, you can see this long piece coming out of the hilt, and he's aiming it right at the camera, so you really can't see it until he just moves his hand, and then they put the sound effect in, so it makes it look like this thing jumps up. Of course, after the first one, they did it all different, you know.
Right. So Teddy, what can you tell us about lightsabers in, because Byron told us the reality of it. I want you to tell us about it in the movies.
Well, what I do know is that the lightsaber, you get the crystals from the icy planet of Ilum, and you find the parts, and they're all put together by these two turning pieces of metal, and then the parts go on, and then boom, there's the lightsaber.
And oh, go ahead. You were saying. I'm jumping ahead because I'm excited. So I want to ask you about, have you seen the new lightsaber in the trailers?
Wait, what new lightsaber?
The one with the things that stick out the
Yes.
side, it's like a three-pointed lightsaber.
Crossguard.
Oh yes.
Looks like a broadsword.
Like a cross guard. That one, yes.
So do you have any thoughts on the new lightsaber?
Well,
Looks like you could cut yourself really good.
Very dangerous.
Really?
I think it's actually like crazy. Like it's a cross guard with 3 blades coming out on each side.
Well, and you also had some opinions on lightsaber and blasters being one piece.
Like I know, like Ezra Bridger, who was from Star Wars Rebels, has both combined, which I'd call a blaster saber. That's what I would call it.
Look at the damage that could do.
But both at the same time.